Well, a couple of years into Frasier, we decided to try another one. But what we wanted to do was mentor a couple of writers that we really liked. In this case, it was Ann Flett Giordano and Chuck Ramberg, who'd worked with us since the very first episode of Frasier. And we had a network commitment for series 13 on the air, so we asked them to come up with some ideas, and then we helped them come up with some ideas, and we came up with this idea of an opera singer who loses his voice and is forced in mid-career to go back to his family winery in the Napa Valley. And it was going to be about his relationship between he and his sister, who felt like her life was being encroached upon by this egomaniacal opera star who was now intruding on her family life after he had paid them little attention for many years, and the matriarch of the family. And those seemed like compelling relationships and interesting characters, and certainly an interesting setting. And we got Nathan Lane to star in it. And we had Nathan in it, and then we cast Joan Plowright as the matriarch. And I still remember directing the pilot, going, "I'm directing Lady Olivier," pinching myself a little bit. She's delightful. And had Glenn Headley played the sister, and could not get it to work. Just could not get it to work. To this day, I couldn't tell you why. Just couldn't get it to work. I think we did 11 of the 13, and then just said goodbye.
As you were writing each episode, do you think you were aware that it was not working?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually, at a certain point, I directed the pilot and stuck around for first couple episodes, and then I went back to tending Frasier, and Peter and David and Ann and Chuck sort of looked after Encore, but it's just one of those things. And it really is a perfect example of we had the best writers from Frasier, good direction, beautiful set, Nathan Lane, who's a comedic genius, Joan Plowright, excellent actress with a funny bone, Glenn Headley, excellent actress with a funny bone, and the combination just didn't work. And, sometimes it just doesn't, and it's nobody's fault, and nobody did anything bad. It just didn't work.
Did the lead character spring from your love of theater?
I don't think it did. I don't think about the show very often, but I'm trying to think how we came up with that. We liked the idea of someone having suffered a loss and is trying to reinvent themselves after that. I think it may have been more related to Sam Malone in Cheers, the alcoholic trying to start his life again as a bartender. There's just something about, I think, the nature of a first episode of a sitcom and someone trying to reinvent themselves. It's a interesting fit. And plus, we were looking for something that had never been done before, and I'd never seen that before. And it was a little risky, going, it's going to be an opera singer. How's America going to deal with that? And you sort of go, okay. At that point, we've been into Frasier several years, and we're going, if it's written well enough and it's funny enough, and the characters are interesting enough, and the relationships are compelling enough, the ad should go with this, because it really doesn't matter what he was or what he did. And one of my favorite moments that we've ever done was the act break of that show, which is Nathan comes into the scene and causes all sorts of trouble, and he's very blustering. He's a bigger-than-life personality. And the act break was him going up in his room by himself and listening to a recording of him singing Nessun Dorma when he had this full, wonderful voice, and knowing that he couldn't do that anymore. And it was really a touching little moment. Evidently, America didn't agree. Or they may have been touched and then switched it off.
What was it like working with Nathan Lane?
Nathan's great. Nathan's a comedic genius, and I don't think I've ever worked with him. I've worked with actors who are very, very professional, but Nathan is extremely professional. I come to the set, I do my work, I'm give it 100% every second that I'm there, and then the second I walk off the set, I go to my dressing room and I close the door, and I prepare for my next thing. So it's interesting. You only worked with Nathan. You didn't hang. You didn't party, and it was great.